All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in for another Hope at the End of the Tunnel podcast. I am one of your co hosts, Juanita Woodson, joined by my lovely host, Joy West-Phalo. And we are bringing you real stories with real moms to remind you that there is that hope at the end of the tunnel. And I'm going to pass it to you, Joy.
Yay! So I'm excited that I have one of my high school classmates on with us, Romduol. Oh my gosh, she still looks the same, y'all. I am excited because I have not talked to you in forever, and I'm just excited to get to catch up with you. And yeah, and you tell whatever you want to tell. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Romduol. I'm a mother of 7 children. So I was born into a Buddhist family, and I basically am the one who broke the generational curses, the cycles, patterns. I mean, I was a shy, quiet girl overall, but then I became a rebel, and then I broke like all the rules that my mom had, and yeah, I just rebelled against everything that my family, I guess the dysfunction of it, and to do it God's way. So
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about who you are as a mom and what that really means. So, before we get into the conversation, let's break it up with the icebreaker question, right? So, if you could describe motherhood in one word, what would that be?
I would say transformative.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cause I mean like me as like being the younger mom, I basically, did things how my mom raised me, like obey, like do as you're told and that's it, not express feelings and all that. But when I came to know Christ, it changed. Like the love of Christ changed me, and then it changed the way that I parent my children.
Wow,
Yeah.
transform. I like that. Okay, so we're going to jump into this question real quick. So, can you share a little bit about your upbringing and the generational patterns you recognized in your family?
Yeah, like I stated earlier before, about like, how I was raised just to obey. I didn't get to express feelings. I was a shy, quiet girl. But, both of my parents, they worked hard day and night, and I did as much as I could as the oldest daughter. So basically I was like, so I was supposed to be the role model of my two younger siblings. And what I grew up in, I thought was, overall it was like a normal, loving home. And what was my norm, I found out like when I got older, what was my norm was not like the norm for other people. It was actually dysfunction, like a lot of dysfunction. But the some of the generational patterns that we had were like, arranged marriage. Like my parents, they were arranged marriage, and I could have been arranged marriage since I was like the age of 12, and then there was 16, and then I was 18. They people like other men wanted me at a young age, and they just like wanted to lock it in. But my mom, she was just like, no. And there's also Jezebel tendencies like control, envy, lying, cheating, manipulation. There's also hoarding, alcoholism, suicidal thoughts, depression. There was palm reading, fortune telling, and then worshiping Buddha and like graven images and the golden statues. um just those repetitious chants and prayers, the same old religious rituals, and just using past trauma. Like my mom, she used like a lot of past, I don't know, it was just like past trauma to treat others negatively. Basically, like my sister enabled my mom to treat me the way that is like, oh, mom, she's not healed, it's her past trauma, so that's why she's treating me the way it is. And I'm the one that stood up and like, no. But anyways, I was just like, my parents didn't know how to apologize. um but that was basic most of the generational patterns that I recognized.
Wow. Do you talk to your parents?
Yeah, I still do. I just got off the phone with that earlier. And I was just trying to like, hopefully he'll say bye soon because I got this podcast to do. But I didn't tell him that because he doesn't understand what a podcast is.
Mm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all do still communicate. It's not one of those things like you just ran off and you don't
Right.
talk to them anymore.
Yeah. I think it actually helps our relationship. It's better now.
Okay,
It's
good.
good.
Because I was going to ask, like, what is your relationship with them since, you are you are Christian, right? You are Christian now, and are they still Buddhist?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay. And so what is the difference in the relationship with you guys now?
Now it's actually better. Like my mom, I have boundaries with my mother. Like I had to, like just as a parent, you teach your kids to do things. That's the way I had to tell my mom. Like my mom at one point, she was like, "I can talk to you however the way I want to talk to you because you're my child." And I was like, I'm a grown adult with 7 kids here. I'm taking care of them. I'm taking care of them, and I'm just like, you can't talk to me that way just because I'm your child. I was like, we can continue this conversation whenever you speak to me like an adult and you're not mad. We can continue this conversation. Otherwise, I'm gonna just say bye right now, mom, and I love you. And I left, I took the kids and I left. I mean, but
Yeah,
my relationship with my mother has definitely been better, and she's learned how to like think about the things that she say before she say it to me, you know?
absolutely. So as a mother of seven, so what unique challenges have you faced while trying to parent differently from how you were raised?
Um, well, I mean, I had kids, I mean, starting at the age of I was only 19, so I was I lived in a strict. My mom, she didn't let me do much, but I was just trying to figure out who I was as a person. Um, and what my identity was, but I really didn't know who I was or like what my boundaries were. My mom, she didn't let me date or none of that. I didn't know how to love myself, just teaching my children like the ways of the Lord, renewing my mind daily and rewiring my brain of how it used to think in like a new way in the Lord, and just rebelling to what was comfortable and outgrowing patterns without losing roots, not feeling guilty for changes, just, adapting to life changes. It's just a lot. I mean, even, I don't know, but, the father of my four oldest, he passed away like over 7 years ago. It's about to be 8 years now, but that was just hard, but just trying to keep it all together for the kids, that was hard too, then just killing my old ways, the selfish ways, and just doing things like for God and the new things in God,
Wow. How
yeah.
old are your kids?
So my oldest is 19, then 18, 17, 15, 12, 10, and 9.
Okay, so your youngest is 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Wow. Ooh. What are some intentional habits or traditions you've built into your family to create a new legacy?
Loving them and forgiving them as Jesus, like he did, loved and forgive me, and then like correcting my children in God and not like how my mom corrected me, just and creating like a safe, godly environment for my kids. I mean, if they're like listening to, I'm always like, whatever you listen to, whatever you are watching, whatever you are hearing, that's feeding your spirit. So you need to be careful and mindful of what you feed your spirit, and then like one thing when I grew up, I was always busy, busy, busy. I was always doing chores. It was always something, never sitting down. So resting is so important. Like if I don't know, my children's been through some stuff, and so like one of my oldest girls, when they're like laying in bed, I'm just like, hey, I'm so proud of you. Like like I mean, laying in bed, yeah, it might be, some people consider it to be lazy, but if you recognize that your body has been through so much stuff, that your body is just trying to catch up of resting, so resting is really necessary. I've learned to like slow down. I even tell myself to go sit down somewhere, and just
Mhm.
take a nap, or just watch a movie or something. But also like speaking life into my children, because when I grew up, my mom didn't say, oh, I'm proud of you, or like, you inspire me so much. I tell my kids these things. I speak life into them. Uh, and, I make having family time outside of our home, monthly, I guess. I mean, whenever they were younger, I took them like to Gulf Shores, Pensacola, Biloxi. We would just book a hotel and just be out for the weekend, or New Orleans, and that was like a new thing for me because I mean, my parents, they didn't do all that. They took us out here and there, but we came back home. But it was just like, okay, we don't have to do no chores. We don't have to think about cooking or all that. So I learned to do that with my kids, and I'm sure they remember that. Make memorable moments.
Mhm.
Yes, I love that. So
Yeah.
I want to ask the question, right? Because I know you grew up as a Buddhist, right? So what was that moment for you when you came to know Christ? Because I know that the way that you're raising your children now, you're and being a Christian, I know that has such a profound impact on the way that you are raising your children. So I'm just curious to know, like, what was that moment like for you?
I think it was really. I think it was. I'm trying to think. Like for the true moment that I actually wanted to change my ways was whenever after my ex husband died, and then I was also dealing with abuse at that time. With the father of my last three kids. I think that was the moment where the spirit within me leaped and said, "Enough with the
Mm.
abuse. Let's get it together here. I know you're grieving, but let's do things my way." And that's what basically got. And then I guess I strapped down and I just did things for the Lord from then on out, and was actually serious about doing things His way and not just my way. Because when I did things my way, it was just like chaos, confusion, and like a lot of tears. But once I did God, the ways of God, it's just got better, and it's getting better, every year.
Yes, absolutely. So, what role has faith or hope played in your journey of breaking generational curses?
It's actually played a gigantic role in my journey of breaking generational curses. I mean, if I didn't have God, I don't know where I would be. I think I would probably be dead. I mean, at one point in time, I only had like, I think, three or four kids, and my mind was so not right. Like, I was going, I guess, crazy in a sense mentally. And I was just like, okay, I was like really depressed. And I even had suicidal thoughts. I mean, that was really bad. And, I think I had even postpartum depression after just every single, well, for the first few pregnancies, but I wasn't diagnosed with it. But you know how some people hide it really well. But
Mm-hmm.
once I came to know Christ, it totally changed the outlook of life and the way that just my mind works. I mean, renewing my mind in Christ it was a challenge, but I did it, and it's it's where I am now. But God has me every step of the way. Like even when I look back and I didn't even know him, but I was like, "Oh, that was you, God. Like you kept me." Even though
Mm-hmm.
'cause God knew who I was back then even when I was an unbeliever. So I know God has me for sure, and I trust him completely.
Yes. So, what does single mom of 7 kids, right? How can you encourage, or what encouraging words could you give to a mom that, I mean, you have 7 kids,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you have some parents that have have a child or either two
Mhm.
that can't do it.
Right.
But I know God did it. But sometimes before we even know God, we do it our own way. Does
Mhm.
that make sense? And we know we can't do it our own way.
Yeah.
So how can you encourage? What are some words that you would tell a mother?
I would just say if you don't know the Lord, then turn to Jesus, turn to God. He's totally changed my life. I mean, I was in the dark, now I'm in the light, living in the light. I was blind and now I see. And God has set me free from a lot of things, a lot of things. I've never been more free in my life. Even like being here out where I don't have any family, I still trust God because He is an all knowing God, and He knows my next step even when I don't know it. So that's why I have so much faith in Him. He's gotten me this far. I know He's gonna keep on keeping me.
Yes.
I I love that. I love that. So I want to ask, right, because with seven kids, like how do you balance individual time, right? Because I know there may be some moms who do have like more than one or more than three. How do you balance like the individual time with more than one?
So I try to take each one like on I guess a date, whether it's getting coffee, breakfast, or lunch, dinner, or just going to the store running some errands and getting some snacks with them. or, you know, go on a car ride. Or, I mean, even going to the doctor's appointment. I had one with my son, and we just had got into a deep conversation. And he's like, "Mom, keep on driving because I like this, what we're getting into." So, you know, I do
Oh,
how I balance those out. I take them one, I make it intentional and go one on one with them. You know, it doesn't cost much. I mean, it could be at the park and just taking a walk in the park. I mean, it doesn't cost much, but I do try to have intentional one on one time with each one.
I love that too because you don't always have to spend money to have that one-on-one time. And I
Right.
think a lot of parents miss that. Like, you don't always have to spend $1 to get one-on-one individual time. It could be in the kitchen, right? Cooking dinner with them or cooking breakfast or lunch with them, right? Just getting that quality time in. So I'm glad you said that. Or taking them a walk around the park or teaching them how to drive or taking them to the library. So just being creative. So I love that.
Yeah.
so where are you? Tell us about this big change that you just made because I need people to realize, I want our viewers to know that it's okay to love yourself and get away from family sometimes if that's what you need to do. You know, sometimes we have to disconnect or not really disconnect, just kind of separate ourselves so that we can find our true authentic self and walk in God's calling because sometimes we are distracted by the things that are around us and that looks familiar to us. So, do you care to share a little bit about your big move that you did?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different, but I was just like, I'm ready to go somewhere where it's affordable for me and the kids, where it's safe for the kids, you know, before I moved. I mean, I looked at you know, where I could move. I mean, I wanted to move to northern Alabama. I looked at all my options. But when I moved here, it's just everything just lined up from getting approved and of the applications and the offer that I put in, it just lined up everything. And so I was like, I was just thinking in my head, like, this is you, God, because everything went so smooth for this huge change that I made. And when I got here, it was even, you know, at the time I had that best friend. She did whatever, and she's like, you need to do this, this, and that. So it's like, God was like, I already had a person to tell me what to do and what job to get and all that. And he just lined everything up. And so change is hard, but when you're in the will of God, it is not. It isn't. It's actually easy, and it's best. Like, God knows what's best for you. So if you take
Mhm.
that huge step of faith, then God is already there. Like, He goes before you. He's already there. He got you.
Right. How did the kids adjust?
I think the younger ones adjusted better than the older ones
Always.
because, you know, they're like, I miss Alabama. I mean, one wanted my 18-year-old. She wanted to move back to Alabama, and then once she got adjusted, she's like, you know what? This is what I needed, like, to be here or separated from everybody else to I guess find herself. To kind of
Hmm.
find herself and what she wanted. And then my 17-year-old, she's still adjusting somewhat. You know, I'm trying to get her together and figure out what she wants to do with life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be difficult adjusting. I know when I moved to Georgia, it was hard for my son to adjust at first, especially because we moved at COVID time,
Yep.
right? Right at the brink of everything shutting down. So I don't know for you when you moved, but like right at the brink of everything shutting down, the kids were doing like virtual school, so you didn't have an opportunity to like meet any new friends. So that part was really tough. So as a mom, like how has that adjustment been for you? And like how do you find new community in a new area? Like do you have any tips for moms
Oh,
embracing a new area?
oh, I mean, I adjusted fine. I was church hopping when I got here. I was like, I gotta find a church home, and I found one in January. And as soon as I found one, I was like, oh, they're doing small groups. I'm gonna just jump right on in, and I jumped right on in. And God, like, I joined the Freedom group, and God, in that group, God was like, okay, you need to speak. Like, you know how your heart's thumping out of my chest? It was thumping out of my chest. And God was like, speak and share your testimony. And I was just like, ooh, like, I don't want, you know, like, I don't want to. But I eventually did it. And some of the ladies was just like, wow. So they were impacted by what I had to share with them. So that's how I'm growing my circle and making friends is through the church and joining small groups and having Bible studies with other ladies.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not a secret that God is the center of your life and He directs your path, and every step that you take, you seek God first. And I love that for you, especially in this season of your life, and things seem to be going well, with you, but it took some time, but
Hmm.
we know with God all things are possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
So when things get difficult, so what helps you keep pressing forward instead of falling back into old patterns?
God. God, I've been through a lot with God. It's been a wild ride. But I've just learned that, when I do things my way, it don't work out the way I want it to. And so I've learned that God's way is the best way, and that's how it helps me to not go back into those patterns. Because, like, for what? Why you want to go back there for? Like, you already know the outcome of that. Why would you want to go back there for? So that's how I get through it, is God and God alone.
I love that.
Ooh, this is good. So, Romduol, what does hope at the end of the tunnel mean to you?
Um, I know my best days are ahead of me. God's already there,
Mm,
and so it's just also me being more Christ-like on a day-to-day basis, not only with my own kids but with others too. I want people to see Jesus in me. Like, my parents back home, they're probably the only Jesus that they see is me. I can't really explain Jesus to them because they don't understand. So I have to walk out the word and live it.
I love that. So
I love it.
do you have maybe any tips for someone who doesn't know Christ, who's curious about getting to know him? What would be some advice you would have for them to start building that initial relationship with him?
Um, I would say start, I guess be childlike and start maybe watching just cartoons, like of the Bible stories. I think that would be the best way to understand the Bible and the word is that way, because it would be easy to understand to watch a cartoon and how encouraging that would be. It makes it easy for a child to understand. So I'm pretty sure it would, be easy for an adult to understand too.
That's good.
That is good. That is good. Wow. Hmm.
I love that. I love this conversation because it honestly just makes me I've never honestly had a conversation with someone who started out as like a with another religion. If
Mhm.
I could be honest and
Right.
transparent. So this was very insightful for
Mhm.
me. And I'm glad if like I can be honest with you and say that. So I'm so happy that I was able to have the conversation with you. It leads me to believe that you can learn and you can grow, and
Mhm.
and we could just be real with one another, and we can sit here and
And
we can have a conversation.
Mhm.
um and we don't have to, and I want to make sure I say the right word. We don't have to like shove our religion down anyone's throat. Like our light can really shine
Oh yeah.
Right.
for other people. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
I
yeah.
I think that like is a real thing. Like I don't have to go and I don't have to like force anybody to be a Christian. Like my light can shine and people will see that,
Mhm.
and it will make them realize that there is something good on this side.
Yeah, like my mom, she's my biggest witness. I mean, she's seen me as an alcoholic, passed out drunk, to
Mhm.
to now, like, if she offers me a shot, she knows better to not ask me anymore. Like, she doesn't even ask me anymore.
Right.
And then my sister, when I moved here, she sent me like those TikTok videos about Christian and God, and I'm just like, oh, maybe she's curious about God now.
Yeah.
But
I believe.
yeah.
I love
Yeah. Because when you made that decision, you got to think about this. it's not just for you and your kids. You have other people that are watching you. Other people are seeing your light and they're seeing it shine so brightly. I
Yeah.
mean, you are amazing. Just to even just see you and the things that you've gone through and how I mean, it's just amazing to me that you packed up and you and your 7 kids drove like 13 hours, 14 hours, to a whole nother state where you really didn't know anyone. Like, that's huge to me. And just the fact that you get up and you have a smile on your face. And I know just from listening to you, and I'm sure the viewers, they'll be able to tell that, okay, God is the center of her life and she loves her kids.
Yeah,
You can tell that.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of what I know is a busy day because I feel like I have a busy day with 2 kids. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come and share with us. So we always end with the last question. And I think we did already, like, what does hope at the end of the tunnel mean to you? We already
Yeah.
asked that
Yeah, we
question.
did.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll scratch that. We don't have to ask that. So how can we connect with you on social media?
Well, I have a Facebook page. Is my name Romduol Suon?
Okay.
That way, yeah. Or Instagram. I have Instagram too.
Okay. And what's your Instagram?
Romduol Suon.
Okay, the same. All
Yeah.
right. So this is
So Rumdul, sorry, Juanita, I just gotta do it. So we've already kicked out for our Moments for Mom Volume 4, but I want you to stay tuned because there will be a Moments for Mom Volume 5. And I want you in that book with other amazing women that are co-authors that basically tell their story and they encourage and inspire and uplift other women and other moms as well. And I want your story to be in the book. So stay tuned for that. I'll give you more information for the conference so you can maybe join us, for the conference in March. It will be in Virginia. So, and then too, why this is all Juanita does this Moments for Mom. I'm just a project coordinator, so I am. I want you to be a part of it because you have a story,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also we do a magazine as well. So I want you to be a part of our community.
Okay.
Uh, I'll send you an invite so you can be a part of our community because you definitely can keep shining your light, and I want you to shine some light in there as well.
Oh,
yes.
I have so much more to share, and I'm excited about this opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you again.
Yes. Well, listeners, please make sure that you connect with Ramdul on social media. Stay tuned for the amazing things to come. And as always, remember there is that hope at the end of the tunnel, and there is that hope in the tunnel as well. Make sure when you listen to the episode that you leave that takeaway, right? Share the takeaway that you got from listening to the episode. Like, subscribe, and share. Share this episode with someone who needs the reminder. Until next time, take care. Bye.